Yeah.
Perfect. Of course, you're the most likely candidate. I don't know if mine will take or not. Ready? Oh, there you go. Call the November 12, 2024 City Council meeting order. I'll remind everybody it's cell phones. Status on latest and affairs with religions.
Thank you, Lord, for your leading, your guidance, your shielding, your protection, oh Lord. Lord, right now I ask that you decrease each and every one of us up on this podium and you increase in us to make the right decisions for this city, Lord. In these blessings, we ask your name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which is one nation under God.
Mayor Fisher.
Here. Item number 3, reorganization of the city council for the purpose of selecting the mayor and vice.
I think you've been really good. Nominating you for another term as mayor.
Second. You weren't ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Rhines?
Yeah.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball?
Yes.
I have to abstain,
Are you?
ma'am.
Are you?
Am I what?
Like for choose?
I thought I had. Anyway, thank you for your vote of confidence. We have the nominations for vice mayor.
For another term.
Slandering.
You have got a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
Vice Mayor. Councilmember Rhines?
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball?
Yes.
Mayor Kitchen?
Yes. Approval of items on the consent agenda. Approval to read by title only ordinance 1046 and approval to read by title only resolution 2024-2020, 2024-25, 2024-26, and 2024-27. The motion. Second.
Councilmember Rhines?
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball?
Yes.
Mayor Kitchen?
Yes. All right, receiving requests from the general public. Do we have anybody who wants to speak for the general public? It's not on the agenda. Dale, okay, hang on just a second. Sir? I said, hang on just a second. I got a disclaimer I got to read, but you can come on up. The council welcomes you to this meeting. This time is set aside for our citizens and the general public to address the council on any matter not included on the agenda. This is not a question and answer time, nor is it a political forum. nor is it a time for personal accusations or derogatory remarks to or about anyone. If you would like to address the council, please come to the podium when you're called, speak to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Please also limit your comments to not more than 5 minutes for individuals and 10 minutes for groups or delegations. Mr. Young?
My name's Kenneth Dale Young. I live at 1600 Landry Road, Perry, Florida, 32348. I have a question to you board members, council members. Why did the city of Perry yesterday honor Veterans Day? For the men and women that died for this country. So we all have the freedom to be in here tonight. And this, it's a federal holiday. And I traveled from Marianna, Florida yesterday to Live Oak, back to Madison. Everybody was closed. Leon County was closed, all bank, post office. All county offices here were closed yesterday, but the city of Perry was open. And, we have a right. I mean, I'm not here lobbying for any city employees. I'm here right because it's wrong not to honor our veterans and the people that died to give us the freedom to be here today. And I think the board ought to take a sharp look at it to making it a holiday for all city employees. And I think I'd like to see you board member discuss it. And
To be honest with you, I'm ashamed to say I've been sitting here since 2018. And yesterday morning, when I got started, people started asking me about the garbage schedule. It's the first time I realized that the city did not take Veterans Day off.
I mean, all schools.
I just never thought about it.
But our city, I went through no city that was open yesterday till I got home and the city of Perry was open. I said, look at the men and women that died for this country. So we had freedom to be here.
Totally agree.
And they had a big thing downtown city of Madison. And at the park, but in Leon County had a parade. But I think our city needs to close down business on Veterans Day. What do you think, Mr. Bill? Okay, or Miss Hampton, Miss Woodfall?
I'm fine with it.
You agree with me?
I wasn't aware that they were not closed down. I wasn't in town yesterday, so.
Yes, ma'am, but I think you. And also I found out even late today that they don't honor President's Day neither. And it's a federal holiday. I think
That would be too many holidays to be out, but I agree with you about Veterans Day. But I think each of us individually recognize Veterans Day.
I understand that, ma'am, but
Let me finish. There's only so many days that we can have.
How's everybody feel about it? How's everybody feel about that?
If we got days that they don't have,
Federal,
Yep.
they don't have a day after Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, I don't believe. But they also have Veterans Day and Columbus Day. And I think one of those we don't have.
On President's Day.
I think Veterans Day.
Yep.
we used to have President's Day, I think, it's Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, a lot of
We've
places
never
did
had
that.
President's Day in the 30 years I've been here.
I've never heard of that either.
It's never had Veterans Day either.
Never.
But y'all got two swing days or whatever you wanna call it, yeah.
We'll bring this back the next week.
Well, we got plenty of time for the next Veterans Day. I do realize, but I don't want to forget about it either.
No.
So I want to put it on the December agenda. Okay.
We did add, changes to the employee manual are done by resolution. So we do, it need to be by resolution.
Okay.
For this time.
By resolution and approval of the council to make changes to this document.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna bring it up at the December meeting. Okay. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Nothing y'all say.
I said, thank you, and thanks for bringing it to our attention. Have anyone else would like to speak? Oh,
So, I mean.
I'm sorry, Angela. Okay, that's all right. Angela, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll be brief. I'm Angela Castellucci with the Taylor County Historical Society. I think this is your last meeting before December kicks off, and we want to invite you to our annual downtown Christmas on the Square, which will be the first Friday in December, December. We want to make sure it's all ready for the crowds. So
Yeah.
please plan to join us. We've got a lot of crafters already. We've got entertainment plans. They're gonna have the downtown Christmas lighted parade, which I know Jamie's in the loop with Dawn. So, tree lighting ceremony, Santa, all the good fun stuff. Please come down and join us. We're working hard to make sure it's a happy occasion. I think we all could do what.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate y'all doing that.
Yes,
I know
thank you.
trunk or treat went really well. I know, and I know this will too, and I appreciate you doing it. Y'all don't need anything from us, do you, for the roads? Didn't we kind of take care of that one, just one and done? Okay. Very good. Thank you, Angela. Oh, do you want to speak? Are you on I heard you might be on the agenda for next month. Okay.
Go over here to find out why the city of Perry got such a hard on with my brother and his property back there. They keep coming on his property, more like targeting him because of me, because of stuff that I'm saying about the city right here. Coming back there telling him that he's got to tear his mobile home down, that he can't have it on his property and all that, which a house that was already on the property. And then you got, Bruce Griffin who goes on the property. I mean, how can it, person that's, you know what I'm saying, get paid to, I guess, assist with the public and all that and use profanity around a woman and her two kids and everything, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, telling her she's a GD lie and she's a mother effing lie, that there was never no house on there. When you have clear as day got a, in the far right-hand corner right there, there's a house over there that's got a septic tank, a live well sitting over there. And then right here where a mobile home was sitting at, it's got a septic tank and a live well sitting right there. The house was moved from the other storm that came in to keep the big oak trees from falling down on it because it said that storm would have been bad or whatever. When Bruce comes out there, I mean, where is it to the point to where officers go out their way to sit there and write down driveways and stuff? This driveway right here had to be cut in there for them to be able to get on their property. So how is that a public easement for, you know what I'm saying, cops and stuff to go back in there, arresting somebody about their house and then talking about they got a motor home on the property that they can't be living in the motor home because, I mean, if they're working on a house that they already have there, that they try to get put back on it. I mean, what they want to sleep in? Tents on the ground, in the trucks or whatever? You got people sleeping in less than that and the city rides by every day. Don't open their mouth, don't say nothing about nothing. But because his last name Bell and my name Bell, and you got officers, you know what I'm saying, sending the cops out and everything, targeting him, telling him that he's got to tear down his mobile home for what? You got a woman sitting right over by the jailhouse who has a house illegally set up and everything. The house is not on the pad. The city approved the house to get moved over there during the storm and all that to replace another broke down mobile home that she had on the property right there. Same situation here. He already had a house that's existing on the property right here that just got moved from its foundation to a safer location on the property that never left the property. You can go back over there and look, and there's no way in the world that you can get a mobile home in or out of there. The driveway is probably hell, it's probably less than wide as them two tables right there put together. So you're not gonna bring a mobile home that's 12 foot wide, 70 foot long, with trees that's hanging probably about 11 foot up off the ground. The house stands 12 feet off the ground, so what you gonna do, you gonna go in and trim all this stuff up and send city workers in there to cut the lines, to move the lines out of the way to bring a house in, or take one out of there? It's clear as day. You can look at the property back and see that the house been in there for a long time back in there. But now the city is making it their duty to send Bruce Griffin and Matt Smith and all them other ones back up in there, telling him that they got to have the house tore down, threatening his girlfriend's mother that they gonna have her locked up and bring charges on her, and this woman don't even live there. The lady lives way over there in Crawfordville, but they wanna sit there and threaten her, talking about bringing charges on her for a house that's been back in there, hell, I don't know, it's been back in there for a long time. So my thing is, why did they sit there, you know what I'm saying, wanna keep targeting him, trying to sit there and make them, you know what I'm saying, homeless because of them living in a RV, you know what I'm saying, a camper,
All right.
versus why they trying to get their house fixed up to get it put back on the property. Therefore, they can't get the house set up because the city won't give them a permit to put it in there. They want them to take it out of there and have the house demolished. So why are you gonna make somebody demolish their home and everything when the house is already there and there is nothing wrong with it? James?
Kinda caught me off guard, to be honest with you. It's the first I heard any of this.
He knows about it. He knows about it.
He wasn't here the first meeting. But Bruce Griffin was, he was sitting right in the same chair. He took it and turned his back to me the whole time talking.
So how is it that this man right here is able to, I mean, I understand he's the code enforcement.
I mean, the city police don't do their job. I turned a report in, a man pulled a gun on me, and my son twice, that 4-year-old right there, and the city never turned in to the state attorney.
Well, I'm sorry,
So
you say
so
somebody,
the city
you
don't do
say,
their job, but they.
hold on, you say somebody, I'm lost, you say somebody pulled a gun?
Yeah,
Can you
pulled a
tell,
gun on me, my 4-year-old son,
who pulled a gun on you?
Kenny Shepherd. They got a report, he never turned in.
When did that happen?
Asked, Lynn Gray,
I'm asking you. when
he
that
called
happened.
me,
I'm asking when that happened. So I
What?
tried to help you.
It's been within the year, it's been maybe.
It's just this
4 to 6
year.
months.
y'all still got a report.
They- Well, okay, so we're talking about,
But a
But,
guy
I mean,
saw me with a
so-
bottle in a stick, and guess what? He tell me going to get a gun, I leave the accident, and me and my son mama, they turn the report in and get a warrant for my arrest and lock me up, but a guy with a gun, and tell me nothing about it.
okay, well, 5 minutes is up, I
They
think.
pick their time,
I wanna ask-
Yes,
what they
ma'am,
want
go
to
ahead,
do.
go
But
ahead.
want to come and tear my kid's house down.
Long story short, when is this Friday gonna come to an end with them sitting there targeting them, wanting them to tear their house down, and still got reports out on them telling them they gotta remove that house off their property that's already been there?
I don't know.
The courthouse and look
I'm
at
gonna
the house,
go there too when.
it's on the blueprint.
Oh, hold on a minute, Miss Hampton, go ahead, please, ma'am.
How long this house has been on your property?
And there's.
We bought the property in 2022, and have been there ever since.
Yeah.
My oldest son is 21, 22 years old, ever since his mom and them was born and living on the house.
And what are you having to demolish?
Well,
What house are you having to demolish?
They
they want me to
demolish my house on that property and build from the ground up. They tell me I can't have my vehicles on the property, I can't have my RV on the property, I can't have nothing on that property. They said I got to have my mud truck, I gotta have tax insurance on the mud truck.
That's a lot.
So if I gotta have tax insurance on the mud truck, I can drop down the highway.
Oh, hold on. Ms. Dance, go ahead, please, ma'am.
Mr. Bell, I apologize, Mr. Bell, he came at the November 4th Board of Adjustment meeting where the property, was noted for demolition or removal of a mobile home that, was in violation of the zone, it's zone RSF 3, so it's not zoned for mobile homes. And so at the end of that meeting, the Board of Adjustment said that they would give the owner, Miss Marilyn Bonifant, the mother-in-law, 30 days to remove the mobile home that's in place.
Ain't no way you can move a mobile home and never move out of there. They got power lines hanging almost to the ground.
So I was just giving context that is what.
So they
was
ruled on
discussed.
that
So they
after
were-
you left.
Wait,
so
it
they
would
were
what
asking
matters.
For, that meeting, Mr. Bell was there, and I think your father-in-law.
That's right, no, my brother, not my father.
Okay, your father was there, and they asked that Ms. a pier, so they did not schedule it for demolition / removal. And they said they would give them 30 days regarding removing the mobile home. I think also we looked up, and Mr. Hart was at that meeting, we looked up the property and the property that's on the property appraisal website. And it didn't show on the property appraisal website that there had been any mobile home that had been there, as long as Mr. Bell has noted. And so they had asked that the owner come to the hearing within 30 days, in the December hearing, to share, what their plans are regarding that.
Well, why
They
should
would-
they have to remove?
they would,
If it's not zoned for it, if they're already a house.
Oh,
Problem.
Oh, hang on a second. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, that's my mom. And my mom has not been.
Sorry, what's your
notified.
name?
My name is Joanne.
Okay.
Taylor. And my mom has not been notified but twice of anything because my mama would appear here. She lives in Wakulla. She has tried to contact this man. I don't even know his name. Griffin. And he's not had any contact, no say so with her. And I didn't know anything about this.
All right, y'all do us.
And-
They love it, and they love
My
it.
mama
so her,
talked to
she
Miss
has to be
A.
here tonight.
Loveland.
Oh, yep, hold on now, 2 or 3 people.
Miss A. Love
It's
it,
hard.
so she has to be here tonight.
Okay.
It was not mandatory for her to be here.
Can y'all do us a favor? You're on the December agenda, right? There's a lot to take in all at once. Sounds like there's 2 or 3 things going on here.
But
And
that
if
trailer
y'all-
is
if y'all-
on the property.
But if y'all would, let us, I just found out about it. I don't know of anybody else, but
Yeah.
I'm just first time I'm hearing about any of
Where's
this.
And my mom
address?
is not one, she.
And,
Address.
if y'all would, let us gather some info and find out what all's going on so we can,
Yes,
I mean, it's hard to catch up, several months worth of stuff in 5 minutes.
yes, sir.
So,
The property
Address.
address, the 310 South Henley.
Yeah.
Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, but my mom, she doesn't
It
tell
was on
that.
the agenda for the Board of Adjustments.
Can you verify your mother's address? 135 Bubba J. Road?
Yes, that's it. But I know she has a PO box also. But she's only gotten 2 documents from him and she could bring them with her.
Okay.
like I said, if y'all would, just, if we can gather up everything we can by the December.
What they gonna
Council
do,
meeting.
I'm pressuring them in the meantime, between now and December.
There's nothing else gonna be said until the next BOA hearing in December.
They still sending cops over there arresting them about that.
This all started because of what happened in March.
So if I put it, so if I,
tomorrow.
We went out there on an unrelated criminal investigation,
let John, and ain't
and
nothing
that's
done
when it
about
all
it.
started.
Put them down about it.
Well, we just kind of put it, and just for this particular item, can we just put it on hold till we, is that okay?
Get some information.
Just saying that.
No, you talking about-
Been there.
Now, you talking about pulling guns, that's a whole nother,
Yeah.
that's something way different.
Well, it's the only way I'm gonna get it
So-
across, bring it up in front of the law enforcement.
Yeah,
You know, they doing their job. But somebody throw a bottle at me and put a gun in my 4-year-old child, and I leave the scene, I get arrested 3 days later. You
okay, that's,
see what I'm saying?
I understand.
And I'm still.
Well, I don't understand. I hear what you're saying, but I don't understand it all because there's a lot of moving parts going on here. So see you in December. Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, anybody else in the general public would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Everybody good? Okay. Item number 6, bids, looks like we got a few.
So currently, I'm opening the seal bid for the CDBG grant administration. I will only be reading out the vendor and the amount of the bid. There will be no discussion at this time about any bids that is being opened. These bids will be given back to the purchasing agent and then to the department which the seal bid is for. The city reserves the right to reject any and all bids. The city reserves the right to select the bidder, waive any informalities, or to accept the bid deemed to be in the best interest of the city. Any errors of bid submissions are the responsibility of the bidder. Got 2. This is from Andy Easton.
there any way I could put in the bids at some point to put the price on page one?
The total fee is $89,500.
And which bid is this?
Andy Easton for the grant, CDBG grant administration.
It's for all grants. That's what I meant. All CDB grants.
It's
This
one.
is one.
What, has that one already been,
You signed the,
yeah,
contract last week.
right. Okay. Just making sure we're talking about the same one. If y'all would, John, if ever puts the bids out, haven't put the price on, flip the cover, there it is. There's no point having to go dig for it. I just notice every time we get a bid open, the same thing happens.
They like to bury it.
They do. Don't want to scare you with the price until they stay on it.
Yep.
I think it's just their qualifications. What actually did.
Didn't that one company have two packets, so?
One was for, one was for administration and one was for the engineering. I got you.
So you don't have it,
Qualifications,
so they bid,
it's not actual price.
oh, okay.
You take this and go back and negotiate with them.
That's, so it's not a bid.
Uh-huh.
So you got one bid. Okay.
Who is the other one, by the way?
North Florida Professional Service.
And the first one was Andy Easton.
Okay.
Currently, I'm opening the seal bids for CDBG engineering and construction. I will only be reading out the vendor and the amounts to bid. There will be no discussion at this time about any bids that is being opened. These bids will be given back to the purchasing agent and then to the department which the seal bid is for. The city reserves the right to reject any and all bids. The city reserves the right to select a bidder, waive any informalities, or to accept the bid deemed to be in the best interest of the city. Any errors in bid submissions are the responsibility of the bidder. The first one is from North Florida Professional Services. It's the same company that didn't have a price on the last one, so.
And there's not one on that one either.
Most likely.
This is the same book. There's not a price on it. It's just the qualifications.
Yes, that would be also a no bid.
Sure.
I guess that would also be a no bid.
This, and it's following what Bill has handed you. That's part B. You're selected in order of preference, firms need to be the most highly qualified. This is getting the qualification part started, then you go part A right here, negotiate a contract with the most qualified.
What you're doing is illegal. I've told you that before, but you insist to proceed with it. And if that attorney had watched the meeting of, the last meeting, she would have, that light would have gone on and she'd have looked this up.
This is what we're doing.
It's illegal, I'm telling you. You cannot bid engineering services. It's illegal.
They were giving us
No,
qualifications.
no, John, have you ever heard what a tangle web weave when we practice to deceive? And that's what I see going on right now.
Okay.
You cannot do this. That statute sets forth exactly how you do it, and you are not doing it that way. From Department of Commerce for the CDBG discusses the same thing. You're not doing it the way the law requires.
That each agency shall publicly announce in a uniform and consistent manner each occasion when professional services must be purchased. That's what we did in the newspaper.
You're not doing it according to the law. It's illegal for them to put a number in there. That's why they don't have numbers.
So what are we doing illegal?
Pardon?
What are we doing illegal?
The process that you've got going on is illegal,
How should it be done?
according to that statute.
That's what we're doing.
No, it's not. Whoever's guiding you, and it's probably one of these two, is guiding you through this process. And they don't know that it's illegal.
Take it to jail.
Yes, we have,
So the other one was for Mott McDonald. Golf first.
Real quick, only because I know the process has been, whatever has been bidded out, we don't even know how many. I know the statute talks about, we need to look at least 3 qualified firms. So until they bring packages here, none of us are aware of how many firms have actually responded. So I don't know if that is what Councilmember Burns is referring to. The process by which we're reviewing engineering firms. Again, I didn't even know, we don't even, at least I understand, we don't even know who's responded. That's why even this process takes a long time, because they're opening it for the first time in open forum with the city council. So at this point, I've heard one professional firm named, so I can't pontificate at this point what if anything is improper, because I yet to know if we've actually gotten 3 qualified firms to look at their qualifications. Because I know they're not selecting people tonight, they're just reading the bids openly. That's what I understood today's process.
It's illegal to bid it. It's against the law to bid engineering services. You receive these proposals as those that submitted with no numbers in them. You submitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 copies of it. Have you got 8 copies at least? What, you just opened one this Eastman. You don't, and then you receive those in. They go to the council. You have another meeting. The council determines through an interview process and ranks them. As this says, 1, 2, 3. You interview 1, 2, 3. Then you just select number 1. Then you negotiate with number 1.
So I guess what,
That's what it says. right
No, I
here, in
understand
black and
that.
white.
But for them to, you're saying for them to even have it as a bid to read out is illegal versus the
It's
idea.
illegal.
I guess I don't.
It's
I get
illegal.
that saying.
It's illegal for them to submit. Did McDonald have a price on theirs?
I'll open it. Sorry. I was trying to hold on.
We've got another problem. Potential problem. But that he chose to do an RFP because he did not want North Florida Regional Planning Council to administer the grant. Be hopeful that they don't file a suit, because they got grounds to file a suit on that statement right there. And if it was a private business, they probably would. What'd you say?
There's not a price.
Not a price. And neither one of them had a price, engineering had a price.
So Tim, I agree with what you're saying.
Mhm.
But,
So it stands to agree with exactly what you're saying.
yeah. You've got, most engineers did not submit prices. Set up a meeting. Go ahead and have another council meeting. Interview them. And follow the statute. This is also an opportunity in this project. There's engineering and there's surveying. Separate the surveying. Go through the process to select a surveyor, possibly providing business income to the local people. It's simple to say engineer, you take care of this. The engineer gets his buddy up in Tallahassee or Pensacola, come do that survey, when someone local may have an opportunity to do it. Local being Perry, Madison. I don't know where his surveyors are. But just go through the process and give them, at least give them the opportunity to present a proposal.
This is the ranking sheet we gotta do for the engineering based on the qualifications. List out the firms that had their bid. We come back and give them points based on their experience, capacity to perform, ability to perform, and you get a total. And you rank them, and first ranked firm is so and so. And you go back and negotiate with them, just like with that paper you said. That's what we're gonna do.
John, you're saying you're collecting bids.
It's just open bid time. It's a RFQ. It's a request for it's a request for qualifications.
Let's move on.
All right. Item C.
Currently, I'm opening the seal bids for police department storage building bid number 10-11-001. I will only be reading out the vendor and the amount of the bid. There will be no discussion at this time about any bids that is being opened. These bids will be given back to the purchasing agent of the department, which the seal bid is for. The city reserves the right to reject any and all bids. The city reserves the right to select the bidder, waive any formalities, or to accept the bid deemed to be in the best interest of the city. Any errors in bid submissions are the responsibility of the bidder. The only bid that we got, it didn't come in an envelope that said bid, so they opened it because it didn't say sealed bid anywhere on it. Do y'all want us to present it to you, or?
Do you know what's in it?
I wasn't the one who opened it, so I don't know what's in it, but.
It was
sent to the city of
Perry.
Oh, it was,
I'm the one that
supposed to
opened it because it was
bid.
sent to the city of Perry. It is supposed to be clearly marked, sealed bid. It was not marked. We opened it sometimes when they're like that, when they're sent FedEx envelopes. in the envelope is a sealed bid, you know, an envelope that says sealed bid, what it's for. That's not how they send it. So
Okay.
that's really,
But
I mean,
the
that's up to
envelope
you all,
itself-
but that's like a void bid.
Yeah,
Motion to reject and do it over.
there you go.
They move. Tell them why.
Mm-hmm.
We got item D.
Currently, I'm opening the seal bids for demolition at 516 West Main Street, parcel ID number 03505-000, demolition ID number 03505-000. I'll only be reading out the vendor and the amount of the bid. There will be no discussion at this time about any bids that is being opened. These bids will be given back to the purchasing agent and then to the department, which the seal bid is for. The city reserves the right to reject any and all bids. The city reserves the right to select the bidder, waive any formalities, or to accept the bid deemed to be in the best interest of the city. Any errors in bid submissions are the responsibility of the bidder.
I asked the questions about this before. She gave us the bid.
Yes.
That's 16 West Main Street. Where is that? Okay.
It's, west of the courthouse on Main Street, the two-story house with big holes in the roof. Doors missing, windows are beat out of it, it's definitely a community eyesore.
Okay. How long has this been?
We've been dealing with this for years.
Okay, because I was just wondering, all of those I know that should come down. We've been dealing with for years and years and years.
This is the same. We've been dealing with it for a very long time. We still have working, we're still working on others. This isn't the only one we're working on, there's others, but we have to go to the BOA process and then issue the order of demo to the county, that we're following all that problem.
Please, ma'am.
The first one is from Young Striping and Sealing. For $17,500. And the second is from Ben Tooten, HB Tooten Logging. For $18,500.
That all that you got? Very good. Thank you. Move on to general business, agenda item 7A. Tony Daughtry of Storm Force to address the council to discuss the Perry Train Depot's roof. And the council will take any action deemed necessary. Yes, sir.
Tony Daughtry, and my address is probably not pertinent, but I live in Long Beach, for Ocean's Edge. And have a new respect for the city council, because you guys are doing stuff that I never knew about. And the only other thing I'd like to say is, Miss Angela, can I please have an invitation to the Christmas party?
I'm gonna check Santa, you know, with Peggy's list.
So I'm assuming that you guys wonder why I'm standing here. So we have been asked to be here to discuss your train station. Your insurance company that you deal with on a couple of occasions has asked us to go out and take a look at your train station and look at the roof on it. We did that and we gave them some pricing as a part of their process. Their engineer came out and looked at the train station and said that there were some issues that they did not want to just repair. At that time, the decision was made for the people that you have your insurance with to negotiate with you or to get into a possibility with you of doing an ACV policy and cashing you out. At that time, let me take it back up and say before that, the insurance company that you deal with also asked us at that time, once the engineer came in and said there were certain things that needed to be done, asked me if I would give them a subjective price on what I thought that might look like. We worked up some stuff for Synergy NGS, and they came back to the city council, the city the city manager and said, hey, here's what we think this is gonna cost. Engineering, looking at your, the situation of the roof and the situation and the complexity of how that has been added to and taken apart and repaired and put back together from the structural standpoint of the rafters and the roof and the ceiling joists themselves. We gave a price and said that, hey, this is what we think it would probably take to take care of all of that. At that point, what my understanding is that the city decided not to go down that route. They said they didn't want to add money to it. They decided they were going to try to fix it themselves. Once they decided they were going to fix it themselves, this is all my understanding of where I'm at and why I'm here today is because you guys took your insurance money and at some point in time, you wanted to put a new roof on the train station. Somewhere down the line, someone from an insurance company called you and said, we have an engineering report that says this is not up to standard and you're going to lose your liability insurance. I got a phone call at that point and they said, Tony, we're going to lose our liability insurance. Can you help us try to figure out how to fix this building? I said, sure. One of the things you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have an engineer stamp off on the improvements that need to be made. Then we were going to have to give you a price on what those things need to be. And then we can help you get this taken care of all exactly the way it should be, up and down, backwards and forwards and correct. Like we've done other buildings in this town for you guys. We've done some work for the county, obviously. Ward knows that. We've done a bunch of work for the city through the insurance company. We've done some work for the city that's not through the insurance company. We were the ones that put the roof on this building. We were the ones that put the roof on the detective property building and as well as the police station. We were the ones that went and worked out the situation with the engineers so that we might be able to save the front of your police station. We went round and round and round with the chief over how we needed to do that and engineering and back and forth to try to help the insurance company save the front of that building. Because as you guys know, front of that building's been damaged for quite some time. I'm very proud to say that we were able to fix it, put it back in place and it survived the last hurricane without a stitch. Would I be correct in saying that, chief?
Yeah.
So we're here to say that we can help you guys if you would like for us to. I'd be glad to answer any questions. But at this point that I'm at, I was asked to be here today to say that's been my involvement thus far. But I believe we can help you guys fix the train station if you'd like to.
Cost wise, what would it take?
Sir?
Cost wise, what would it take?
That depends.
As far as you know at this point.
As far as I know at this point, and obviously you and I have done work on other projects, so you know that I'm going to shoot you straight and I'm not going to lie to you. There's a possibility we could fix that building and patch it up for $100,000 and help to get it passed. There's a possibility of that. But if you want to fix it right, I mean, we need to be talking about, north of 300,000. And when I say we want to fix it right, we're talking about if you wanted to rebuild the top side of that building. I don't think that's necessary.
You're talking about removing the entire roof and putting a whole new system.
Yes, sir.
On. Yeah.
I don't think that's necessary, but at the very least, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to repair the damaged rafters and joists that are in there. When you look at the truss system that's there, it's obviously built many, many moons ago. We work hand in hand with a lot of engineers. We have partnerships all over to try to help us be able to work with situations just like this. The roof itself, you guys actually got some bids on the roof itself. I can only tell you what our bid was just for the shingles themselves. And it was around $60,000 just for the shingles themselves. And John, I don't know if you remember if that's correct or not, but I think it was 67,000.
I think the lowest one was around 45 or so.
Yeah, no, I was not privy to the other bids that were given. But as far as us just giving you guys a bid just for the shingles themselves, just to get it watertight, we were looking at around $60,000. But that was prior to the situation with the engineering saying, hey, we told you had some damaged rafters and you had some damaged trusses in here. You need to get this taken care of. Otherwise, that's why they pulled your liability insurance. When that happened, I will say this, because I have a relationship with those guys on John's behalf, I reached out to your insurance provider and I said, hey, listen, we do a lot of work for you guys, we do a lot of work for them. If we can get engineers that will agree to fix this where it is in sturdy condition and they put their stamp on it, would you guys give them back their liability insurance? And your carrier said, yeah, they'd be glad to. So we would be glad to try to work in a partnership way with an engineering firm to do that. We're just here to try to help save your train station if we can.
I brought it to y'all because I didn't want to do anything illegal, and now you're combining engineering services with the construction side of it. I didn't know how all that.
Yeah, this is an emergency. I mean, you agree with that?
I agree with it.
So we actually have,
As an emergency, we need to do something tonight. We talked about it. We need to do something tonight.
well, I guess something got past me at the last meeting, because we actually have structural damage. I thought it was the way that it was done 100 years ago was what they didn't like. Do we actually have
I think there's some from the fire. And
Fire?
repairs have been made over time.
when did it burn? Sometime in the past 100 years? Has it?
Within the last 30 years, it burned, I know.
I don't know about the, Ward, I don't know about the burning, I don't know about the fires, but let me explain to you what happened during the last couple of hurricanes. So you and I over at the airport, we talked about wind lift.
Yeah, okay, just to clarify something, Tony's Storm Force, Tony's company's done some work at the airport for the county on the big hangar. Matter of fact, you're the only one that would touch it. It was so high and the way it was built. Anyways, working on some other roofs for us. That's where I know Tony from, is from the.
And to be honest with you, this is cracking me up because obviously Ward and I've been, y'all gonna laugh at this. Ward and I've been working together for 6 months on that guy doggone hangar, and I didn't know he was a mayor of the daggum town. So there you go. But with that being said, I am, so talking about uplift. So part of the structural conditions that were mentioned in the report that was given by the engineer that came out and took a look at it. So anytime you have a hurricane like that, you have what's called uplift. And that uplift will pull that structure up and then sit it back down. And any repairs that have been done, that whether they were done up to code or not up to code or whatever, they're all in jeopardy of being compromised. And at that spot, that's what the engineer recommended and said, the roof of this building has been compromised and it needs to go under a full explanation of how we're gonna repair each one of those compromised spots.
So it tried to fly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It had uplift on it. And so those trusses took a beating. And if you go in there and look, the truss system is there. You're right. It's built on a system that was many, many moons ago. And it's been repaired a couple of times because obviously it's had lots of things that have happened to it through the years. But with the water damage that you've had, the wind damage that you've had, they need to be repaired. And look, and we don't want to do it the wrong way. Do I believe that we have the ability to be able to salvage the roof and make it completely safe and certifiable by a structural engineer in the state of Florida? 100%. Is it going to be done for $60,000? Absolutely not. And yes, sir, I do believe it. I believe it's what I would call an acute situation. I think you need to handle it, in my professional opinion.
Yes, ma'am.
Angela, that's what you. No, that's fine. Well, first of all, I will say you're all very lucky you were not in the room when I read Aaron's story about tearing down the depot and I sucked every ounce of air out of it. So, I will say that. But obviously this is a topic near and dear to the Historical Society's heart. We hate to see anything torn down, but I don't want to come to you with complaints. I want to come to you with solutions. So I was discussing this situation with a friend of mine, and I have found that in this world, it is not so much what you know, but it's who you know in different businesses. They are construction people. She and her husband, up and down, decades of experience in the construction business. I talked with John about this earlier today, because I just talked with her last night when we were discussing some downtown things. And they have offered to work with some of their suppliers and distributors to see if we can form some kind of partnership with the Historical Society, which is a nonprofit. So anything donated through us is tax deductible, with the city to see if we can work with whomever to either secure the materials at a reduced price or donate it as a donation to work on preserving the building at a price that is palatable to everybody. So that's where we are. I just sent over, he sent the specs to me today. I forwarded that to them. They are looking over those and we'll be talking with their people. So hopefully within the next few days, this week, we should have some kind of direction or answer that I can give you that at least we tried versus just saying, please don't do this. I'd much rather come to you and say, hey, let's try this together and see what we can do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of losing the building either. I mean, it's a really nice place. And we're losing downtown buildings faster than I like, but also understand 140-mile-an-hour winds tend to do that to older buildings, even newer buildings.
And if I can, may I also echo what she said? Obviously, I completely agree with her. It's not always just what you know, it's who you know. And us having the ability to work with the right engineers that your insurance company will approve and say, yeah, we know those guys, those are reputable guys, these are not fly-by-night people. We've done that before. We would actually be working in conjunction with the same engineer, same group that we used over at the police station to make sure that happened. And Chief, I don't know, what do we save you guys over there? How much money we save you guys over there by going that route?
About half what we expected.
So I believe that we can do that because she's right, but I think that the key is gonna be the engineering, getting it done and getting it done correctly so that you guys can get proper insurance again.
I thought he was lying to me when he said he could do it for you, and it made it through the last 2 hurricanes, so he made a fool out of me.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
I didn't make a fool out of him. I was protecting my ability to be able to come back and do more work. We try to do it right and we just try to be honest.
Mayor, my opinion is we do everything that we can to save that building. For some reason, it's near and dear to my heart as well. I remember walking downtown, seeing the railroads, the trains come by, and Mr. What's his name? The black engineer. Sanders, Mr. Sanders. I would like us to do everything in our power to save it.
What do you think, engineer we got?
So here, I came in here tonight trying to give my brain because one of the things that I haven't done is I can't cross the line because I'm not a structural engineer. So I have to be able to go by what my experiences are and what my past gut will tell me what we're gonna get into here, based upon my own opinion. And that's what I'm trying to tell you here. My opinion is pretty doggone accurate though, because I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I started my first project like that in 1997. I cut my teeth in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I've been doing it ever since. So prior to doing what I do today, working with Storm Force and I have one of the principals of Storm Force here tonight with us. But consulting with them and doing what I do for them, I've been in the foundation structural repair world and working with insurance. My first storm that I ever worked was 1992. And then I was just a young kid running around chasing Andrew all over South Florida. But after that, we started working in 97. I started working in the structural world, foundation repair, and then structural building pieces. After the 25 plus years I've been doing this, I think that I can get that done over there. I think I can get the engineering done for probably, I'd say probably somewhere in the neighborhood, less than 20. I mean, it'd be $10,000, $15,000, maybe something like that. And then I think that, no, you don't have to touch every single, I think we counted there 32 or 36 trusses over there. I don't think there's any way near possible you're gonna have to replace all those trusses. What's gonna happen is we're gonna have to make sure that the engineer feels good about the way they're done and then the displacement of what's going on underneath. Because if you go in there and look, there's all kinds of minutia that has been spread throughout the years. Somebody's running electrical through here, somebody's crossing up the phone lines through there. All that stuff's gonna have to be taken care of properly to make sure that, and then not disrupt the businesses that are there and partially, to make sure they can still function. But with that being said, exterior and structural wise, there's really no reason. What's gonna come down to is gonna come down to how much wood rot you actually have, how much damage on how many of the trusses you actually have. I believe the engineering though we can get done for very reasonable price. Most guys will probably charge you $25,000-$30,000 for that, at least. I think that my partners, and we can get it done, the people that I work with, we can get it done for probably half of what they would normally charge you. Like what Chief said, we generally do a pretty good job of saving you money, and the result is good.
I will offer a motion. Give John 20 grand for engineering. You work it out. Work.
That's just engineering.
We don't know. We won't know what the actual cost will be until you get the engineering.
I don't, as many times as I've done this, Councilman Burns, I just don't think it's gonna go that high. I think we're probably gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $10,000 to $15,000. So, and I can't give you, obviously, I can only tell you what my experiences are, but I'm usually pretty good. I don't have egg on my face a lot.
I did get a free report from John Gentry this afternoon. And he recommended replacing it all with new trusses. It could be done, but it'd be difficult, time consuming to do what we're gonna try to do. I think it's possible. And I did get with Michael Lynn. He said 300,000 for all new trusses and a roof. He estimated north of $500,000. And he said you need a month or two of no rain.
Well, he's not in the business to do something like that. Yes, that's a motion.
Have a motion in a second.
I'm sorry. Councilmember Bruns,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull.
Yes.
Mayor Catcher.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Anybody need anything else out of me? Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Agenda item 7B, council to discuss code enforcement grace periods as related to hurricane damages. And council to take any action deemed necessary. I saw this on the agenda. We got a unique situation in the fact that we've had 3 storms in 13 months. So which grace period what happened when? Did the grace periods reset, or we got a kind of a mixed mesh of things going on? Yeah, it's difficult.
After I tell you, we set the date of January 1st, 2025
Right,
is the grace period. And-
sure.
And like you said, this is a unique experience here, is that we haven't had multiple storms in the last year and a half. How much longer is and this is the council, really, the council needs to be involved in this. How much longer do we want to put off, give a grace period on people to secure damages that are not life-threatening or emergency repairs need to be done? Of course, the things where, where it's gonna be structural issues, where people could be hurt, we're gonna address them immediately. You can't just let that go, but the longer term repairs is what we're looking for guidance on. Is how much longer, what do you think will be appropriate? And this is just, an educated guess at this point.
I know there's some houses that at this point aren't gonna be able to be repaired. Probably need to go ahead and do something with those, because they were done during Idalia. I mean, they hadn't gotten any better with the other 2 storms.
So what the idea I have is to have a date certain set so that we can talk to property owners and say, look, this is when the grace period ends. I know that you've got a lot of other things you need to be doing, but just be prepared that this is the date you have to meet so that they're not just blindsided at the end of it. So I want people to be able to prepare for that.
March 31.
25.
I say that when I look at the mess that the city has got to deal with. These contractors that are picking this up, they're cherry picking. And my gosh, it's gonna be bad when they leave.
Yeah, we're gonna be responsible for all of it,
That's right.
cause they hadn't even started on that side.
So are we speaking of homes or just?
Yes, ma'am. Now, commercial
Okay, now
property,
see this.
we're gonna try to work best we can with commercial property. Most of them are already prepared now. Biggest thing with those are signs. The signage is blown out, empty signs, and won't have billboards and things. We'll address that on the safety side of things, because there's a lot of people go in and out of commercial stuff. I'm more worried about homes than I am anything else. But that's where people live, out,
It's hard for me.
It is. Although I know several homes are abandoned.
We think about this as well, bring it back.
We can wait for things.
Yeah, this is very important. I think we
A
need
lot of people probably still fighting for their insurance too before they
Yes.
can do anything.
Yes.
Hey, there are people still fighting about a day when Debbie and
They was.
What's her name
They
is?
do more.
Helena
What's it?
and what's her name? Helena, something.
Eileen,
That's why we.
But I got-
With this.
And then you got this, another mixed mesh of which storm did the damage, and here goes the insurance companies again. It's, yeah. I've heard a lot of stories, don't know if there's any truth in any of them, but I've heard a lot of interesting stories about
I would
it.
suggest at least 6 months in the beginning, and we can think about that for the next meeting, and if we can adjust it then. But we won't do anything until the next meeting, until the council has it full time. Way on.
Sean, are everybody okay tabling to the next meeting?
I think it's very important that we really think about this.
Okay. We will table for the next meeting then.
Thank you.
Agenda item 6C. Resolution 2024-25. Budget amendment. SCDBG grant. A resolution of the city council amending the budget of the city of Perry, Florida for the fiscal year October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. So we're just amending the budget for the grant.
What is happening in the next 1, 2, 3? We've never done that right. Would it? But what I'm assuming is gonna happen is this is document to amend the budget and go to the next step and put it in the computer.
Yes, sir.
We've never done that,
And then the auditors look at
right?
fees to
Right.
match what's.
okay.
Yeah, we're finding things that, well, not finding, we do to get it done right.
Right.
The problem with this one is it's not the general fund. CDBG is gonna be a special revenue fund, I imagine. But it'll stand alone. It'll have its own checking account and everything,
Like the
Separate.
fund.
a whole new fund.
Reimbursement. Hey, where's the money coming from? It's a
To pay it
reimbursement
out.
grant.
Yeah.
Got to pull the money from somewhere to get reimbursed.
You loan it if you have to. Loan it to there, pay it back. She knows how.
Yeah,
Motion,
Can I just fix that to say special revenue fund?
yeah, just, yeah. Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Councilmember Grimes?
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfall?
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. Agenda item 7D. Resolution 2024-26, budget amendment to remove the firehouse subs grant. A resolution of the city of Perry, of city council amending the budget of the city of Perry, Florida for the fiscal year October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025.
I'm going to, put in for the grant again, but I mean, I don't, it's be the same thing.
But we'll,
It opens up again in January.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I'm on, apply for it again, but
when I say we, I'm talking about the city. All of us. Should just take it out, put the new one in.
Keep it clean.
I mean, did they say why they denied it?
they don't tell you why.
They don't tell you why?
They just deny it and
They may have run out of money for that funding cycle, it could be anything.
Did y'all know the brother sold the company?
Hmm.
The brother sold the company.
firehouse.
No.
Maybe that's why they denied it.
I just, when I saw this, I was like, okay, it's, yeah.
They don't give you a reason when they deny it, so.
Mhm.
Only thing they said is we're welcome to reapply again the next opening, and it starts in January.
Okay.
Well, they're a private company. They don't have to tell you anything. Really, just, no,
Don't none of them tell you,
that's true.
even AFG, when I got denied the truck grant, they didn't tell me why. They
Just
said
know.
it was denied.
Be nice to know why though, so you not make, if it's something you did, you won't do it again next time, but that's.
We're trying to get a phone call set up with them. We can talk to them about it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why we're denying it.
Anyway, I have a motion on this.
Motion.
Second.
Councilmember Rhines.
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton.
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball.
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes, agenda item 7E, resolution 2024-27, budget amendment, add the police, FDOT highway traffic safety grants. A resolution of the city council amending the budget of the city of Perry, Florida for the fiscal year October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. This is you talked about this the last meeting or meeting before.
We awarded the second grant, so we
Oh,
did
okay.
the first one the last time, this is added the second grant in.
Oh, okay.
Motion.
Have a second?
Councilmember Rhines.
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton.
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball.
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. All
That's
right.
what we had on that other grant thing you were talking about for the, new. The person that you were gonna hire for a certain position.
I'm getting job descriptions.
Okay.
From other agencies that have them. And
Okay.
as soon as we get that, we'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agenda item 7F, introduction and first reading of ordinance number 1046. And I read about title only, they believe. I need to read the whole thing. All right, buckle up. An ordinance of the city of Perry, Florida, amending the text of the city of Perry land development regulations as amended pursuant to an application LDR 24-01 by the city council, provided for deleting public or private schools offering curricula comparable to that of public schools as a use permitted by special exception within all agricultural, residential, and office zoning districts. Providing for adding public, charter, and private elementary, middle, and high schools with a provision for the keeping and housing of livestock used for Future Farmers of America, also known as FFA. Head, Heart, Hands, and Health, also known as 4-H. or any other bona fide educational use as permitted, as a permitted use and structure within residential, office, and commercial zoning districts. Providing for adding public, charter, or private vocational and trade schools conducted in conjunction with an industrial activity as a permitted principal use and structure within industrial zoning districts, providing severability, repealing our ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. Hope that all made sense to you. Basically, this is the FFA.
If we send them what, in 3 sentences,
Yeah.
then they change it into 19 pages, going through each one. But then the, the LDRs as a permitted use. When you do that, you gotta take it out of special exception. That's what all these pages are. And then as a permitted use, taking it out of special exceptions for all the different zones. I think I mentioned RSF 1, you're not allowed to have a high school in our comp plan. So that's why you see the small difference between RSF 1 and 2 and 3. They take the high school out here. But you can't have an LDR that goes against your comp plan.
Okay.
It's all the language we had. Bona fide educational use, active, school, and 200 feet from the next residence. And you go through each zone, this RSF, mobile home, same thing.
Jim,
Yes.
200 feet. Tell me how far is that? Like they used to red lights.
About near that building,
Yes.
about near that building over there, probably.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing it's about near that brick building over there, give or take.
The width of the roadway here is about 25 feet. So each travel lane is about 11 feet, plus the stripes are 6 inches, so it's about 25 feet. That roadway out there,
So it'd be 8 times that.
8 times that.
A football field is 300 feet.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
That was 100 yards.
Which is 300 feet.
230.
How wide is it?
Thank you. Thank you.
3 feet to a yard.
That should be fine. Yeah.
All right, anybody have any more discussion on it? No, we'll go with agenda item 7G. Approval of the minutes from October 22nd, 2024 regular session.
Motion to approve.
Here's the bakery. Yes, from that front door to that bakery. Yeah. From this front door to the bakery's front door, 200 feet.
Property.
We got a motion. Do we have a second on the approval of the minutes?
Councilmember Grimes?
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull?
Yes.
Mayor Kendrick?
Yes. John, your turn.
That's the notice we put in the paper for engineering services. There's a request for qualifications. We'll add RFQ to the word bid under number 6. So it wasn't a bid, it was just a request for qualification.
Anything else?
Yeah, it needs to be sworn in. Just you and Diane, right? Oh, you too? That is on November 18th, 2nd floor, courtroom B at 3 p.m.
One of my questions,
Courtroom B's on the 2nd floor.
Yes.
you say on the 18th?
think that's Monday,
On a Monday, at what time?
3 P.M. For B.
Right. Anything else? Vote.
Just a follow up on, suggestion to, change number 6 to show RFQs and bids. Or RFQs, RFPs, ITBs, and bids. My understanding that the process by which, we secured proposals based on qualifications was still through RFQs versus RFPs, but in other words, the statute that, Councilmember Brian mentioned, from 287 for the statute, it notes that engineering services have to be based more on qualifications than pricing. So if the objection, because I was trying to follow what the objection exactly was, is the idea that unlike other services where often cost and price, like landscaping, janitorial services, can be the lead as to how a decision is made, or which would be like ITBs and RFPs, the engineering based on statute has to be based on qualifications, even though pricing could be a factor. And my understanding was that this number 6 part of our agenda is literally just the opening of any submission of any request that's been out there for any service or product. Not that, and I think it went through a lot of discussion last year, not that a selection or decision would be made at number 6, but just to read who submitted. And so that's why I was quickly asking John, like, I mean, it was an RFQ, not an RFP that was sent out. And so, we agreed, as the statute reads, that it still needs to go through the negotiation process. And so I just wanted to confirm that, because I just didn't want to leave that out there. And in RFPs, people can also note potential hypothetically sound pricing, but that is not the general goal, is to look at qualifications. So and that may just make us all more mindful of what's being read. But is this still the case that that is what the purpose of opening any of the submissions are, so that it can be done transparently, so everyone knows who is submitting for review? Am I correct with that?
When will we receive a copy of those, and when will we
Start the negotiation process?
interview first?
Well, I understand that will be set by the executive staff administration. And so I guess Mr. Hart will determine. I didn't, maybe I missed it also. I think there was like 2 firms that submitted. And according to the statute, the standard is no fewer than 3 firms. So again, wanting to know where the objection was, exactly, was it in the description of what would happen? The lack of numbers, which is what I commented as to, I didn't know who submitted until they're open. So it does take some time, and it sort of gets a little bit, why are we just waiting? But the goal, I understand, was to just keep it transparent, so it's not an idea of someone's opening and determining ahead of time who could be considered. My understanding that reading, then Mr. Hart would follow up with how and when we would look at candidates.
You want staff to do this ranking sheets, and bring it back to y'all, or y'all want to do these ranking sheets?
That's our responsibility. And while we're talking about responsibility, when you said we don't want North Florida Regional Planning Council doing this, that's not your responsibility. That's our responsibility. But what should happen is get a copy of those to us and set a date to interview them.
Staff gonna be involved in the process, or just, is staff gonna be involved in the process, or just us?
Can be.
I would think staff would need to be involved in it, those that need to be.
And with that one particular, and I don't know if that was a firm for engineering services or some other services, but someone needing or potentially have the opportunity to read applied. From my understanding, we still only have 2 firms that have been submitted for consideration. So there was also concern about not having the minimum 3 requested or suggested by the CCNA. That there's nothing to suggest you can't start reviewing, but it still seems to be, we're 1 firm short of making a decision if I read the statute correctly. I wanted to know that,
Well, it was just an RFQ. Does it really need to be open in the meeting or should you?
so the answer is yes, right? All the submissions, you should at least know who's submitting.
Very good.
Um,
Anything else?
No, just at the next meeting, I would like to be heard in the company that I mentioned regarding liens. We've had a salient, I believe, plan for how different municipalities can assess the value of certain liens that are out there. We have several that could possibly be collected on, but in a way that would not, I believe, not exhaust people who are already at limited means. That representative said that they will be available in December to come and to present. But while I was looking at that, I also was looking at the zoning department completely, or at least as to, I feel like the zoning department of the city council or city government is one of the areas where there's so much money that's left on the table. Not just hypothetically with liens, because if people can't afford it, that may not be, but, and you all are much more aware, and I know Councilman Burns would be, I'm very curious as to if there's any flexibility in renegotiating or looking back at the fact that our zoning department takes in applications, but because we don't have a building inspector, the type of fees that are collected, I believe I was understanding from Ms. Levitt, like some building project, like there was a $45,000 fee that was assessed for regarding building inspection, and 100% of that went to the county because they have a building inspector versus us. And so even in looking at some of those numbers, I'm like, I wonder if it would be worth in the future considering hiring a part-time building instructor or instructor, I keep saying instructor, I'm sorry, inspector or contractor inspector, if it meant that some of these larger building projects that we can keep some of the fee. And
Let me interrupt you.
yes, sir,
We
go
do
ahead.
have a building inspector. We pay for one. He's an employee of the county,
Right,
but we pay for it. And
But-
I would surely, our contract addresses that
well,
with the county. But we pay dearly.
we do pay, well, my understanding that the way, and actually, I had put in a request to get a copy of the contract, because it seems like we're operating based on how things have always been done. And I just didn't see how the justification of us doing the permit and all that thing and not getting those type of fees that is going to whichever governmental unit has the building inspector.
I don't know what part the building inspector has. She talking about $45,000 code enforcement.
I think what she's talking about is that apartment complex. They're
Oh, yeah,
for building permits, but that's very seldom.
Yeah, that's,
I know we don't get those
Yeah.
often, but I guess we're having bigger projects requested.
that's what the contract says. That
I
they
think
get.
they get all the permit money. I think
Yeah.
that's all we give them
I don't think they pay for any
We,
permits.
we write a check every.
for the permit. We need to look into it.
We look at the
The
contract.
life changed over
Look at
the
it.
years,
Yeah.
and that could be, but you're right, we're not getting a bunch of, it's not every week, but that adds
do.
up,
Mm-hmm.
It's in the budget.
it adds up.
Pay like half of what they say. it
I think
costs.
that's, I'm not
John.
gonna speak out of term.
And I understand.
But I was talking to the
historically,
guy down there the other day, he said they hadn't paid no permits. that they getting the permits, but they didn't have, they
Well,
wasn't
right
paying
now,
for it.
the
I
county,
understand it.
right
That's
now,
a
the
forgiveness
county,
by the
yeah,
county.
the county is waiving anything to do with the hurricane,
Okay.
any permit thing to do with hurricanes.
Right.
I just
It's
hope we can
contrite.
look at it so that we could possibly just see if there's something to justify trying to update that, because I understand when that was created. And again, that's historically, I don't yet know, is that we used to have a full-time building inspector. And now
We
we're,
got one.
We couldn't
well,
find
we
one.
don't have one because that person's employed with the county, not the city.
We paid for a full-time building inspector,
Contracted through the county.
contracted through the county.
Was trying to find building officials and building inspectors right now just isn't real easy.
Can we get this historical contract and let
That's what I,
Ms. Dempsey look
that's
over
what I
it?
requested.
Yeah.
Sure.
Renewed.
Mhm.
I requested to look, because what, and how it's being explained to me, I was like, I would love to see the terms that dictate that, but I'll have that, and even a copy for all y'all to read.
Sean, do you have a copy of that?
Sure, we have somewhere.
Okay.
I think, I get all the money we bring in on it.
For permits, they get all the money we bring in. I think what you're talking about is might be to do with animal control or mosquito control.
Same situation. With animal control, we got a contract. It's our animal control is what it is.
Well, I can tell you they get all building
It
permits.
doesn't make sense that they get
I
all,
think-
it
No.
I remember we talked about that
doesn't
45.
make sense that they get all the money.
Well,
Well, I can tell you the building, they going to go to the county to check buildings in the county before they gonna come to the city. Or let the county employees.
but they're also doing all the,
They ain't got time to do much other than what they doing. That's why they got people coming in to help them.
all right. Let's hope you have anything else.
Right.
Okay, Carly.
Just trying to work through this. I know y'all got my email. But on Friday, they told me that they were gonna pull our September numbers. So they'll pull September's, my numbers should then be correct in the new system for September. Once they do that, hopefully they'll do it in the next couple weeks. And then later on, they're gonna actually pull all of our data from the past 3 years. So that would be helpful. I've at least got everything balanced and right in the old system, so we know once they get pulled over, it's correct. That's all.
While you're doing that, will you find out why my paycheck is smaller? And
So,
we gotta pay increase, I think John's.
yeah, Stephanie told me that she talked to you about that, and it's because
Yeah,
of the
but
taxes.
that makes sense.
Because of the taxes, your taxes went up and. She said that she could talk to you about changing your withholding. Before and all.
Anyway, you wanna maybe talk about that with,
Maybe you can explain it to me later.
okay. Carly, have anything else? Jamie, RB,
All right, guys, we got a new round of AFG grants. I'm gonna be working on them next couple of weeks.
good deal. Danielle,
We don't have all night. No, Ms. Woodball mentioned about the debris. I talked to DOT last week. They said they were finishing up the bus routes. Should be finished up last week or the first this week, and then they should be picking up, because I told them they're picking up, and I'm sure y'all noticed. They'll pick up one pile here, one pile here.
yes,
And they're leaving
haphazard,
messes.
Yes.
They're leaving a mess.
Yeah.
Now, my guys, I have one truck that has started picking up small piles because it, looks so bad out there, but. That's limited staff and I'm having issues with a garbage truck, so therefore we're having to use 3 on one garbage truck. I have 2 more positions available. I have an employee out on medical leave. So
Which positions are those?
truck driver labor. We hired one, he starts maybe next week.
Struggle is real, isn't it?
That's a question. When they pick up and they leave all of this debris left behind, what do we do about that?
I'm actually talking to DOT about that, they should be cleaning that up. I mean, we're writing up how to clean it up, honestly.
But they leave a mess everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's gonna take a lot of places to get it there.
A lot, it's terrible. And it's not just in one area, it's across the whole city.
It is.
And it's not that they picked up one area and not another area. Some areas, they're literally getting piled here and there. It's a mess.
I can pay for it.
That's a lot.
He told me that they're trying to pump off their truck or something like that,
Uh-huh.
so grab this pile. It's just, that's,
It's monitors.
it's
A
a
lot
mess.
to do with monitors. They go by and look at them. There's a piece of trash in them. They won't let them pick them up. That's
Oh,
people that
Yeah.
comes up there to the,
But
to
during
the
Idalia, they
park lot.
picked them up, but this time, anyway, but my guys.
Well, I know a lot of that on Folsom won't get picked up because it's a
That's
whole
because it
trampoline
means-
out there.
No, they'll pick the, they
They'll
should.
get the trampoline?
If it's due to hurricane damage, yes, ma'am.
but it's got to be piled separately.
It's not.
If it's in with the wood debris, like the trees and all that,
I've told
They
him
won't pick
multiple
that-
times and
pick it
he
up.
would not.
it's got to be
Do it.
separated into different. Your construction debris and all that stuff's got to be in a pile. Your limb debris got to be in a pile, or they gonna eventually pick it up, or the city eventually have to pick it up, one or the other, but.
This pile got the trash, the garbage, the trampoline, mattress, cooler, clothes, all that.
They, during Idalia, they did pick that stuff up, so, but
This
they
time,
don't, the city will have to.
yeah, go right down Puckett Road by the airport.
Mm-hmm.
About a half a mile solid.
You know why they doing that?
Yeah, they,
Roll-off attendants are telling them that that's what they've been discussed, or been told to do.
Put it down.
Only thing they taking at roll-off sites is household garbage. Everything else they pile on the side of the road.
well, it isn't just Puckett Road, it's
Yeah, that's
all
all.
over. Anyway,
Ma'am,
yes.
I'm so sorry. Can I go back up regarding, I just wanted clarification on the city attorney side. And it may not be anything more for me to do, but I wanted clarity. I know during public comments, you know, we do read out the statement that it's not an answer and question time, but often the council's compelled to see if they can like address it or put it on another calendar. When the Bell family left regarding the property on 310 South Henley Avenue that's set for demolition or removal within 30 days at the next Board of Adjustments meeting, which will be like maybe a week before we have our
Meeting here.
Yeah, you know, the first Monday of the month is set for that to be answered by them either moving the trailer or what has been stated that it will be demolished. There was even discussion in the Board of Adjustment, because I even raised it, is there any benefit to moving it? It looks like a well-maintained trailer, but it's not in the right zone. So they gave that person a month, and I couldn't help but when they left, having a sense of if it would be the city council wish for that not to be determined until next month's council meeting, just the way it was left, like, oh, you can come back in a month, and they left, and I was like, I don't even know if they understood that this council is over BOA, but BOA meets beforehand, and I just wanted clarity, just so I can maybe jump in front to make sure that everybody understands what
We won't have another meeting in November.
December. I understand, they were told, at least I was thinking what was said, like, would you give us until next month?
Next meeting. Mhm.
Next meeting, you all's next meeting is after, it's scheduled for them to go ahead with the demolition.
Yes, a week after, a week and a day after. Yeah.
Would it be the council's wish for, regardless of what the BOA may want to do, to hold off, or would you prefer to continue? I just didn't want did anyone get a sense that they may have left thinking nothing's gonna be done until they get to present in front of the city council?
Yeah, that's what I
Is
mentioned.
it
Just hold off
different?
until we have another.
We could
get time
continue
to-
that BOA hearing until January.
I just
Probably
wanted
be
to see
the-
direction, I want to be direction oriented since the demolition's being scheduled.
Everybody okay with doing that? Wayne? What, I mean, well, see, here's where you get into the BOA is a quasi judicial. Yes, the council appoints them, but we don't have any control over them. Not
We asked
really,
the BOA and the magistrate to continue things before.
right?
That's what
Other
I was
reasons.
gonna ask.
No, we can ask, we can ask, yeah, but I mean, we can't.
And if they
Order 'em,
agree
Pete.
to continue it, which I'm pretty sure they will, we just do that.
Okay.
I guess that's what I was wanting direction. I just didn't want that to come up and then there was in December, some clarity, so.
So, okay, if we have,
All weren't making a decision, it was stated, and I just wanted to be clear, even if it's just to contact them.
let's just ask them to go ahead and if they would continue it to January.
But the
So we'll
only
have a
other
chance
thing
to,
is notice has been sent to the owner in Crawfordville for the next December sixth meeting. For her to attend that, because she hasn't appeared in person in anything else she's been noticed on.
So I do think it's
Well-
wise to continue that space, but whatever happens at BOA, I can request prior to if there be no demolition set until potentially the city hears. I don't know, maybe that's just something I'll work out.
The cleanest thing would be just continue that hearing till the next month without getting involved with the process. Just continue, ask them to continue it the next month, we'll hear it then, but we'll have to make sure that proper notice is given for that next month for the property owner.
yeah, everybody needs to know.
Would that be the wish of the council?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I can contact the BOA members and see if they're anything with that.
That's pretty good with it.
There's nothing wrong with too much due process.
Oh, I'm
You
not,
know, so I think the longer we can continue this until we can get the actual hearing done properly, with everybody noticed and everybody has an opportunity to speak, the better we'll be long term. I don't have an issue with that. The more due process, the better in anything we do.
Very good, sweet. All right. Andrew,
Nothing,
water's looking better.
water rolling.
I haven't had any more complaints.
It's actually flowing.
Yeah.
Rolling, so it's going, rising, it's going.
Very good. Sean,
Let's take it off.
Don't do something like that.
I don't like to yell, so hear me. We auctioned off some trucks, some really old trucks, 90 model, 98 model, 04 model. So we've been able to replace those. Got some night work coming up, gonna have to close Green and Center Street. Manhole we have to raise, it's right in the middle of the intersection. It's so busy, we won't do it during the day. Whenever I do it, I'll try to put it in the paper, I'll try to give as much notice as I can. I wish we could maybe rent an arrow board or a message board to say, hey, on this date it's closed, because it is very busy. I don't know how long it'll take, but I know it gets dark sooner, but,
when are you gonna do this?
I haven't decided yet, but we just
Okay.
have some guys, out, and have some vacation days. It's gonna be in the next couple of weeks. It'll probably be, I don't know when the school gets out, it might be. If the buses aren't running during the day, we might be doing it during the day, but just less than 8 feet, I'd probably rather do it at night. So, just want to make it public and everybody aware of that. That's coming.
It'll. Appreciate it. Garrett and Garrett.
Anything for y'all, good time, any questions? Anything?
Are we going to reopen the restroom?
Well, so, the way I understood last time I was gonna get those metal doors made for that, so I could keep the people that were tearing it up out after hours. So whenever the doors are made, I'll install them, but until then, we're gonna keep them closed. But I'll put in a request for the doors to be made, that's all I can do.
You talking about the splash pads or
Yeah.
did the parts ever come in for them or?
For the same type of cells,
Sir?
no, not for the splash pad, so
Okay.
they've been ordered, but
I hate that we own the park and we can't provide a restroom. An open restroom. This has been how long now?
for what?
The closure of the restroom.
You actually don't have a restroom, cause they done busted up everything in there.
Well, it wasn't like that when I went by. The meeting that was, they went out and by.
You and who?
So you just waiting for the doors and then you're gonna repair the restrooms and put the doors up.
That's what
That's what we discussed, yeah.
Everyone that was in this room, we all decided that last.
I know we did, but how long has that been? Since you closed the restroom?
5 months. Right, Bill.
Month and a half, somewhere along in there.
I'm not sure, I would guess a month and a half, 2 months.
Seemed like it was after the storm, I believe.
It was before the storm.
Mm-hmm.
It was before the storm, so I put a request for in for John Lynn to make the doors, and he had damage to his facilities and everything because of the storm, which prolonged him making the doors.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, thank you.
But he's working on it.
Yeah. Miss Shirley? Miss Benita? Mr. Grimes? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Ambulance went by and you didn't get your blood pressure up.
When I tell you my vitals have been so good and my stress levels have been down,